Waking up early is the foundation. It's the first battle you fight every single day. The moment your alarm goes off, you have a choice. Stay in bed and surrender to comfort, or rise and conquer the day before most people even open their eyes. There's no middle ground. Discipline means making that hard choice when your body screams to rest, when your mind says 5 more minutes. You don't negotiate, you get up. When you wake up early, you're taking control. You're not letting the day dictate your actions, you dictate the day. Most people sleep in, scroll their phones, waste the first precious hours. You're building momentum before the world even starts moving. The quiet morning hours are a battlefield where winners separate themselves from losers. No distractions, no excuses, just you, your mission, and your grind. The early morning gives you a psychological edge. It trains your mind to be tough, relentless, and focused. When you face challenges later, your brain remembers that first victory, waking up and getting after it. It sets the tone, it builds confidence. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, who gets things done, who doesn't back down. Waking up early is not about being a morning person. It's about discipline. It's about doing what others won't because you want to be better, stronger, more attractive. If you want to stand out, to be a leader, to command respect, you have to pay the price, and the price is the loss of sleep, the sacrifice of comfort, the embrace of discomfort. That's how you grow. This habit rewires your entire day. You have time to plan, to train, to improve your mind and body. You're not rushing, stressed, or behind the clock. You're ahead. You're preparing while others procrastinate. You're winning the invisible war that others don't even realize they're in. There's no magic pill, no shortcut. Just the cold, hard truth that success, attractiveness, power, it all begins with discipline. Discipline to rise early and own the day. The early morning hours are yours to control. They are your weapon. You use them to forge yourself into something better, stronger, more focused. The people you want to impress, the people you want to attract, they notice that energy. They see the difference between someone who's lazy and someone who's relentless. Waking up early isn't about vanity. It's about proving to yourself every day that you're serious about your life, that you don't settle for average, that you push yourself harder than anyone else. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Get up now. Set your alarm earlier than you think you can handle and answer the call. Because every time you get out of bed when the world is asleep, you take a step closer to who you want to be. That's power, that's attractiveness, that's discipline. Training your body every single day isn't just about looking good, it's about building strength, resilience, and confidence that radiates from within. When you commit to moving your body, pushing yourself physically, you send a message to yourself and everyone around you. You're not weak, you're not complacent, you're a warrior. Strength isn't given, it's earned with sweat, pain, and relentless effort. Every rep, every mile, every drop of sweat is an investment in your character. You don't need a fancy gym or expensive equipment. You need discipline, discipline to show up, discipline to fight through the discomfort. Because your body fights you every step of the way. It wants to stay comfortable, to avoid pain, to rest. But comfort doesn't build men and women who are attractive, who command respect. Pain and struggle do. You have to outwork your own excuses, your own laziness. That's the battlefield. Training every day trains your mind just as much as your muscles. It teaches you how to persevere, how to keep going when everything inside you says stop. When you build that habit, you stop making excuses for your weaknesses. You embrace discomfort as the way forward. The more consistent you are, the more confidence you build. Confidence that you can handle anything life throws at you. Because if you can push through physical pain, you can push through mental pain, setbacks, failures. The people who don't train, who don't push themselves, they settle. They get tired, weak, and invisible. You don't want that. You want to be someone who stands out, someone who walks into a room and people notice, not just because of your appearance, but because of the energy you carry. That energy comes from strength, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of better. Your body is your temple, your weapon, your armor. Treat it like it matters. When you train every day, you improve your posture, your stamina, your health. You decrease stress, sharpen your focus, and fuel your drive. That's power. That's attractiveness. You can't fake it. You can't shortcut it. It comes from putting in the work day after day. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting, unreliable. Discipline is what gets you moving when motivation fades. When you're tired, sore, or busy, discipline is the voice that says, "I'm doing this anyway." That's the difference between those who achieve and those who just dream. Training every day also means humility. Some days your workout will suck. You'll feel weak or slow, but you show up anyway. You do the work anyway. That consistency is what separates the average from the exceptional. It's the compound effect. Every small effort stacks up until you become unstoppable. You want to be attractive, be strong, be disciplined, be relentless. Strength in your body reflects strength in your mind. That's a force no one can ignore. So get after it. Train hard, train smart, train every single day. That's how you win. Speaking less and meaning more, that's how real leaders and strong people operate. Too many people fill the silence with noise, trying to impress others with empty words, talking just to be heard. But true power isn't in talking, it's in the weight of what you say. When you speak, it needs to carry meaning. Every word should hit like a hammer, precise and deliberate. Speaking less forces you to think more, to weigh your words, to ensure they matter. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to fill every silence with meaningless chatter. The people who speak less but mean more have the kind of presence that commands attention. Their silence is louder than the noise of others. When they choose to speak, people listen. That's influence, that's respect, that's attractiveness. Think about the power in restraint. It's easy to get caught up in talking to fill the room with sound, to distract from uncertainty or weakness. But that's exactly what weak people do. Strong people embrace silence. They listen, they observe, they absorb the situation before responding. That allows them to speak with clarity and authority. It shows confidence. It shows control. When you speak less, you avoid saying things you regret. You avoid wasting energy. You avoid giving away your power. Too many people weaken themselves with idle talk, gossip, or pointless arguments. You don't have that luxury. Your words are weapons, and you need to use them carefully. This habit trains your mind. It forces you to think before you speak, to be intentional. It develops patience and self-control. It teaches you that not everything needs a response. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes saying nothing says everything. When you do speak, you deliver value. You provide insight. You motivate. You instruct. Your words become tools for leadership and influence. People want to listen to you because you respect their time and intelligence. That respect builds attraction. It builds trust. Speak less also means you're less vulnerable. When you keep your thoughts and plans close to the vest, you're not giving away your strategy or weaknesses. You're keeping your cards close. That's smart. That's tactical. It's how winners play the game. In relationships, this habit works wonders. People are drawn to those who listen more than they talk, who ask good questions, who speak calmly, clearly, and with conviction. That presence is magnetic. It's attractive, it's real, the world is noisy, everyone wants to be heard. Most people don't have anything valuable to say. Be the exception. Be the person who speaks less but means more. Don't fall into the trap of being loud to cover insecurity or lack of purpose. Use your words with intention and precision. In the end, what you say matters far less than how you say it. The tone, the timing, the confidence behind your words, that's what carries weight. Speak less. Mean more. That's a mindset, a discipline, a way to win in life. Owning your space means commanding respect without saying a word. It's about how you carry yourself the moment you walk into a room. Most people don't realize how much their body language, their posture, and their energy communicate before they ever speak. If you want to be attractive, if you want people to listen, you have to own your space with confidence, calmness, and authority. When you walk into any situation, whether it's a meeting, a social event, or just everyday life, you send a message. That message can be one of weakness, hesitation, and uncertainty, or one of strength, control, and purpose. Owning your space means you choose to send the latter every time. Shoulders back, head high, eyes steady, every movement deliberate, no slouching, no looking down, no fidgeting. This isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about presence, the quiet, powerful energy that makes people notice you. It's about knowing who you are and what you stand for. People can sense when you don't own your space. They pick up on your nervousness or lack of confidence. They see it in how you hold yourself, and they treat you accordingly. If you want to command respect, you have to project it first. Owning your space is also about being fully present. When you're distracted, when your mind wanders, your body betrays you. You lose focus, your posture slackens, your energy drops. People pick up on that too. Being present means engaging with your environment. It means making eye contact. It means listening and observing before you act or speak. It's about being aware of yourself, the people around you, and the situation. This habit isn't something you just switch on and off. It requires constant practice. You have to train yourself to carry that energy all day, every day. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, that's when owning your space matters most. It's easy to lose control when things get tough, but that's the exact moment you need to tighten up, stand tall, and remind yourself who you are. Owning your space also means setting boundaries, not just physical, but mental and emotional. You decide what you accept and what you won't tolerate. You don't let others push you around or disrespect you. That takes courage and discipline. It takes knowing your value and standing firm in it. When you own your space, you become a leader, whether you want the title or not. People follow those who stand firm, who don't waver, who carry themselves like they're in charge. That leadership attracts others. It inspires confidence. It creates trust. That's power. That's attractiveness. You can practice this anytime. When you walk into a room, pause, take a breath, and reset your posture. Imagine the energy you want to bring. Visualize yourself as someone others want to follow. Then move forward with that energy and intention. Over time, it becomes natural. Remember, owning your space isn't about dominating others or being aggressive. It's about being so sure of yourself that you don't have to prove anything. You simply exist, and that's enough. When you own your space, you own yourself. And when you own yourself, you own your life. Self-respect isn't given, it's earned through discipline. Discipline is the foundation that builds your character and shapes your identity. Without discipline, self-respect crumbles. When you discipline yourself, you show up every day, you keep your promises to yourself, and you refuse to settle for less than you're capable of. That's how you build respect, first from within, then from everyone else. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It means making hard choices, turning down easy temptations, and sticking to your standards no matter what. The moment you start cutting corners or giving in to weakness, you chip away at your self-respect. You tell yourself you're okay with less. That's poison. You can't afford that mindset. You want to be attractive, to be strong, to be a leader. You have to be ruthless with yourself. Self-respect through discipline shows in the little things. How you take care of your body, how you manage your time, how you control your emotions. It's waking up on time, eating right, training hard. It's being honest, keeping your word, and not letting distractions steal your focus. These aren't glamorous things, but they are the building blocks of a life worth living. Every small act of discipline stacks up, and soon you become a man or woman who commands respect simply by living with integrity. When you respect yourself through discipline, you stop seeking approval from others because you already know your worth. You don't need validation. You don't bend to peer pressure or chase empty praise. Your actions are guided by your principles, not by the fleeting opinions of others. That's true power. That's real confidence, and that confidence is magnetic. It draws people to you. Discipline also builds resilience. Life will throw punches. There will be setbacks, failures, distractions, and temptations. Without discipline, you'll crumble. But with discipline, you learn to stand back up, to keep grinding, to keep improving. You don't let circumstances define you. You define yourself through the choices you make, consistently and relentlessly. Self-respect through discipline demands sacrifice. You give up comfort for growth. You say no to easy shortcuts that weaken your character. You embrace the grind, knowing that every sacrifice is a step toward becoming who you're meant to be. That's not easy. It's uncomfortable. But nothing worth having comes easy. The way you carry yourself, the way you treat others, the way you live your life all reflect your level of discipline. People can see it, feel it, and respond to it. When you operate from a place of self-respect, you set a standard for those around you. You inspire, you lead by example. That's how you become attractive, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You want to be someone who others respect. Start by respecting yourself. That respect starts with discipline, the commitment to hold yourself accountable, to show up, to push hard, and to never settle. When you live that way, you build a foundation so strong, nothing can shake it. That's how you win in life. If you want to be strong, disciplined, and attractive, you have to commit to reading, learning, and evolving every single day. Knowledge isn't just power, it's survival. The world is constantly changing. The people who stay stuck in the same mindset, the same habits, and the same old ways of thinking get left behind. They become irrelevant. You don't want that. You want to be sharp. You want to be ready. You want to be ahead of the pack. Reading is the most accessible tool you have. It's the way you feed your mind with new ideas, strategies, and perspectives. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Learn from the experts. Absorb wisdom from those who have been through the fire. When you read, you build a mental arsenal that prepares you for anything. You don't just rely on your instincts, you back them up with knowledge. That makes your decisions smarter, your actions sharper, and your leadership stronger. But reading alone isn't enough. Learning means applying what you take in. It's taking that knowledge and turning it into action. It's testing it, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Learning is a process, a relentless pursuit of improvement. When you learn, you get comfortable with being uncomfortable because growth always demands discomfort. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to do what you've always done, but that's the path to mediocrity. To evolve, you have to push past that. Evolving is the ultimate goal. It means you're not stagnant. You're not content with the person you were yesterday. You're always moving forward. You adapt to new challenges. You embrace change instead of fearing it. Evolution is what keeps you alive in the fight. If you're not evolving, you're dying, plain and simple. Every day is a chance to get better, to become tougher, smarter, and more capable. This mindset separates winners from losers. Winners read books, listen to podcasts, seek mentorship, and put in the work to grow. They don't let pride or ego get in the way. They're humble enough to know they don't have all the answers. They're hungry enough to want more. That hunger drives them to keep evolving, no matter how good they get. When you commit to reading, learning, and evolving, you become a force that's hard to stop. You gain confidence because you know you're prepared. You become attractive because your mind is sharp, your perspective broad, and your character solid. People want to be around someone who's constantly improving, someone who challenges them to be better too. Don't make excuses. Don't say you're too busy or tired. Discipline means making time for what matters. Schedule it, prioritize it, protect it. You owe it to yourself to invest in your mind just like you invest in your body or your career. That investment pays off every day. In the end, reading, learning, and evolving is a war you fight on the inside. It's how you build the mental toughness to handle the chaos outside. Stay curious, stay hungry, stay evolving. Controlling your emotions is one of the hardest battles you'll ever face, but it's also one of the most important. Emotions are powerful. They can drive you to greatness, or they can tear you down and destroy everything you're working for. If you want to be disciplined, strong, and attractive, you need to master your emotions, not let them master you. That's where true power lies. When emotions take control, you lose clarity. Anger turns into rage. Fear becomes paralysis. Anxiety spirals out of control. That's weakness. You don't get to win by giving into your feelings. You win by acknowledging them, accepting them, and then choosing how to act anyway. That's discipline. That's maturity. That's strength. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean ignoring them or bottling them up. It means being aware of what you're feeling, understanding why you're feeling it, and then deciding to respond with purpose. It means not letting stress or frustration dictate your actions. When the pressure hits hard, when someone pushes your buttons, you don't explode. You don't whine, you stay calm, you stay collected. This is a skill you have to train every day. Life will throw curveballs, people will test you, situations will frustrate you. But if you've disciplined your mind to control your emotions, you can navigate the storm. You can keep your head when everyone else loses theirs. That's a rare quality. That's what makes leaders stand out. That's what makes you attractive, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. People want to follow someone who's steady, reliable, and unshakable. Someone who doesn't overreact or get rattled. When you control your emotions, you become that person. You build trust because people know you won't snap or lash out. They respect your ability to handle tough situations with calm and grace. That respect turns into influence, and influence turns into power. It takes courage to control your emotions. It takes humility to admit you don't have all the answers and that sometimes your emotions lie to you. But it's necessary. You have to own your feelings, but you don't have to be owned by them. That distinction is everything. Sometimes controlling your emotions means walking away, taking a deep breath, stepping back to regain your perspective. It means choosing your battles carefully and not wasting energy on things that don't serve your mission. Discipline means you don't get baited. You don't chase every slight or every frustration. You stay focused on the mission. The more you practice controlling your emotions, the stronger you get. It becomes second nature. You respond with logic and purpose instead of reaction and chaos. You protect your energy and your focus. You become a rock in the middle of a storm. No one is perfect at this. You will fail. You will get angry. You will feel fear and doubt. But what separates the winners is that they don't stay down. They get back up and control themselves the next time. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you build real power. Control your emotions and you control your life. Lose control and life controls you. That's the difference between being a leader and being a follower. Be the leader. Serving, leading, and giving, these aren't just words. They're the foundation of real strength and real respect. If you want to be someone who's truly attractive, who commands influence and leaves a legacy, you have to embrace these principles. It's not about taking, it's about giving. It's not about ego, it's about humility. It's not about standing alone, it's about lifting others up. Serving means putting others before yourself. It's easy to think leadership is about power or control, but real leadership is about service. It's about understanding the needs of the people around you and stepping up to meet those needs without expecting anything in return. When you serve, you build trust and loyalty. You create a team that's stronger than the sum of its parts. Serving doesn't make you weak, it makes you essential. It shows you have the strength to put others first, and that's magnetic. Leading is a responsibility, not a privilege. A leader takes ownership of the mission, the team, and the outcome. Leaders don't blame others when things go wrong. They don't wait for permission. They take action. They set the example by working harder and smarter than anyone else. Leadership is about setting the standard and holding yourself and others accountable to it. When you lead, you inspire, you motivate, you elevate. People follow those who demonstrate courage, discipline, and integrity. And that's exactly what you become when you commit to leading. Giving is the ultimate expression of strength. It's not just about material things or resources, it's about giving your time, your energy, your knowledge, and your heart. When you give without expecting anything back, you tap into something powerful. You break the cycle of selfishness and scarcity mentality. Giving builds community, it creates bonds, it fosters respect. Giving also challenges your ego. It forces you to be vulnerable and generous, and that's what makes you truly attractive on a deep human level. These three, serve, lead, and give, are intertwined. You can't truly lead if you don't serve. You can't serve if you don't give. And when you give, you set the tone for the entire team or community. That's how you build lasting influence. That's how you become someone who matters. The world is full of takers, of people who look out only for themselves. Don't be one of them. Be the person who serves with humility, leads with courage, and gives with an open heart. That's the way to build trust, respect, and real power. When you adopt this mindset, you shift from being a passive participant in life to an active force. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen. You become a person others rely on, admire, and want to follow. Serve first, lead always, give freely. That's not just a strategy, it's a way of life. It's the path to becoming someone who's truly strong, truly disciplined, and truly attractive. Start there, and everything else falls into place.